Hey everybody, it's Kellen Cash again, coming back with another rant. I was talking to a friend of mine today, media friend of mine, and he was like, "Why are you always talking about Africa?" Like he's like, "You're always talking about Africa. You're always talking about these other countries and moving to these other countries." And he's been out of the country, and he said, "What is it?" And he's a an OG, you know, older than me, and so what I was trying to get, and what I talk about maybe every day to somebody different, is when you're overseas, there's a different attitude, there's a different vibe, and the cost of living isn't like America. America, this capitalist society, is for you to always keep chasing the dollar. And if you like keep chasing the dollar, I want you to keep chasing that dollar. But I always have some facts and some figures, and I'm gonna try to show you what I was showing him, and it makes sense to him because I have friends who are living overseas right now, and they are winning. And the grass is always greener, but it's just what type of life do you want to live? Now, I have friends who live overseas, jacuzzi, gated areas. They have mansions. I'm not gonna put it on like they all have mansions, but some of them live off $10,000 a year, just to pay their bills, their rent. And so I want to show you something, right? And we can do it. We can do it together. What's the average rent in Colombia? It gave me the country before, but hopefully it's learned. I don't want the country. What's the average rent in the country of Colombia? And we'll see if it'll pull up real quick. Google's acting up, but it was like the average rent was like 200 and something bucks when I looked it up. This is the country, but it was like 200 bucks, 250 bucks. When I looked it up, and the average rent in other places is 200. When people are making maybe 100 and something dollars in certain countries, and here you're making $833 a month. You could be doing something online, you could be teaching English, you could be doing websites, whatnot. um, you could be really winning. You could really be winning somewhere else, because what you have to look at is a lot of you are working to try to get to, let's say, that $100,000 arena, so you can buy the things that you want to buy. And some of y'all are trying to get to that $1 million arena so you can buy the things you're going to buy. But you can go to Africa, a Thailand, and already be that $100,000, $1 million lifestyle, and you wouldn't have to work so hard. Now I know things aren't hot to some people until they get hot in America, but see, that's that propaganda, and I really don't believe in that, because wherever I go in the world, if I have my needs are met and a lot of my wants are met, I'm good. So you look at what's the minimum wage in Bogota, Colombia, right? And you see how many pesos per month. Convert that. I want you to do the math. Um, I'm going to put in the benefits of living in Africa. And I want you to look at these things. And there's going to be pros and cons in every country you go to, right? But I promise you, you're not going to see, you're not going to see the best of Africa in your Google search. You're really going to have to search and see what others say. When they say people are living off of $1 a day, don't believe that. But even if they're living off $10 a day, when I went to South Africa for the first time and I was buying meals that were considered expensive on your average South African rand, but dollar wise, maybe it was costing me $7 for some good old seafood, right? And I mean some good seafood in the mall. If I would have spent $14 at a place that was plush, and that's probably me, buying someone else's meal. But what is $14? What is a $30 bill to an adult who's working? That's nothing to us in America. We do that, because we don't have a real good sense of saving anyway, so that money will rot to a lot of us. So I want you guys to look at going and getting your passport, and I have a video on how to get your passport, and just going to explore if you haven't. Now let me give a warning. If you go to a country and let's say you went as a missionary or military, you didn't really see that country. You went under an umbrella of, I'm here to help you in some type of way. And 9 out of 10 times you went to a poor area. And if you love that and you could live like that, cool. If you want to be in the bush, but I'm really talking to the people who want their modern day lifestyle just in another country. And someone will say, well, I went here and my internet didn't work like that. Man, check this out. When I'm overseas, even if I'm on vacation in Florida, I'm not even thinking about the internet like that. I'm too busy living life. And if you're so connected to the internet, you got a problem. Now look, I put benefits of living in Africa. Then it says bad things about Africa, good things about Africa. See, this is propaganda. This is Google playing a game. I don't want to know the bad things about living in Africa, because you're going to tell me something about poverty. But I can go through these Seattle streets where a 1-bedroom cost you $1,700 and my 3-bedroom cost over $2,000, and I can go down the street or around the corner and I can see poverty. It'll tell you something about HIV/AIDS too. You need to wrap it up and stop, tricking and dicking. Anyway, but there's benefits of living in Africa. And China, if you don't know, if you've never heard, is investing in Africa heavy. Heavy. Look, it's popping up. And what's going to happen is, especially for black folks, you're going to be the last one to make that pilgrimage. We're going to have a good time in Africa before you come over there because of propaganda. 60 billion you see for Africa. That's in 2017. They've been investing in Africa for over a decade. You just don't know that. There's military bases, U.S. military bases in countries you can't even find on the map. And we going over there because we're futurist and we want to go out before it gets too hot, and we want to be able to enjoy Africa before they try to come ruin it and try to make it a mini America. Read these articles. 3 reasons why the Chinese invest in Africa. Read these things. Malcolm X was talking about these things. You're just late. You're catching it late because you don't read. And you need to put your investment into your future, which isn't Jordan's hair, cars, or houses in America, but it's a trip. Take your family with you. It's a little rant, but I'm serious. So I told him, with the money that I can make anywhere in the world, I can live happy. I can live happy. I can have what I need. I can be able to create businesses over there and be able to afford it. When hire somebody here in the States, you got to go through so much. You got to pay somebody sick leave and this and that, insurance and everything else. And if they slip, on your doorstep, you might have a lawsuit. It's too litigious in America. Everything is too complicated. To do anything, you got to have a license. And I just don't see the future being bright. At least for me, Africa needs me. And I need Africa. And we want to do more business there. It's beautiful in Africa. And I want to be able to, travel the world. And Africa, is so big. Don't believe what you see on the map. It's way bigger than that. But that in itself is a lie that they want you to believe that Africa is this certain size. So, just look into it. And that's why. You could be that 100,000aire or millionaire or whatever you want to be and be above in another country. And Africa is that a continent that, you pick a country out of there, you might be living real good. But it's the same thing if you want to be in South America, you want to be in Colombia, Brazil, you might be rich. Many military guys have gone to places and said, I'm not leaving, or I'm retiring here because I want peace. I'm not trying to work like a slave on the plantation. And that's what America is. You got billionaires still trying to make more money. You got $1 billion. You would think, give that money to some good causes, help change history, especially if you're part of the masses that have ruined history, are enslaved and benefited so much. Give back to something and help create. But that's not how capitalism, that's not what it teaches you. It teaches you to be greedy and get all you can, eat all you can. Get all the McDonald's hamburgers. Make all the tweets you can. Tell everybody you're better than them. You're going to see how that turns out, man. Y'all going to see how that turns out, man. The scriptures are very clear on that type of attitude. So that's just not how I even see life. That's not how I see business. It's not about get all you can. It's help and serve first. So you don't hear that too much. Serve first. This is business. So when people want me to play that game in business, I don't want to play that game. So I want you to go on YouTube and I want you to check out what people are saying. Check out people like, I'm going to show you Dynasty Amir. Check out his page, has a good following. And he's going to Africa like 8 times a year or something like that. Check this out. This is my history list. No judgment. Search for Aruru. But Dynasty Amir had some great stuff on there. Phil from the Advise Show. I'm biased, but we got interviews on there with Africans. You can find a job right now in Africa. Looking up, email me or put in the comments if you want to know how to find a job in Africa, because I can. There's videos we've already done that we can link you to. And then if you need some one-on-one consulting, there's some things we can do on that. So I'm not going to make this super long because y'all don't watch that. But holler at me. I'm Kellen. Beats are by richboy2hot.com. Go get yourself a beat, whether it's for a commercial or whether it's for some heat that you have in the vocal booth. I'm out.